I'm not afraid. It's the wizard who should be afraid of me.
So if I told you that Wicked is probably top 10 of the year, I wonder what you would say to me, but hear me out. This is one of those movies that I just can't shake off after watching it in a packed theater for a screening. I've been going to these screenings for almost a decade now, and actually as press and all of that for the last couple of years. But this is one of those screenings that was insanity. There were so many people getting in, and it was just a packed screening. And when the first musical number hit, everybody clapped. And it wasn't in a clap where it was like taking out of it. It was a clap where I think people were astonished. So I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Wicked Part 1. Yes, this is part 1 of part 2 that is going to be coming out next year, directed by John Chu. And in this, you have Cynthia Erivo starring as Elphaba, and you also have Ariana Grande-Butera starring here as Glinda. And this is based on a hit Broadway musical, which I am not too familiar with. I will tell you the honest truth. I've known what Wicked is in parts here and there, and I've heard some of the songs, of course. It's been something that's been in the eye of culture for the last 20 years. So, of course, I would hear about it, know about it, and I am telling you, this is something that was just so breathtaking to watch for the first time this story be brought to life. Of course, this is kind of like a prequel, you could say, to The Wizard of Oz. You don't need to see The Wizard of Oz if you haven't to watch Wicked, but I implore you, you should watch The Wizard of Oz because it's just a grand Technicolor masterpiece. But this film, Wicked, is a movie that is its own thing, and it's doing something truly incredible here. So first and foremost, I think the cast here is great, from Bowen Yang to Jonathan Bailey and everybody else involved here. I think they do an amazing job. But of course, we are here to talk about the stars of the film, which are Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba and Ariana Grande-Butera as Glinda. This is such a powerhouse performance from both of them, and what they're able to accomplish here, not just as actresses, but as singers as well. I think they both truly push the boundaries of what we can expect from musicals and all of that here. And I've seen some of the behind the scenes footage of how they were able to film the singing and all of that, the choreographed numbers here. There's a ton in here, and there's two in particular that I want to see more of how they were able to get this done, because it is just incredible, especially when you're dealing with a ton of other people in the background dancing and singing and just getting through. And the camera work here is just undeniable. It is something that is truly breathtaking. And of course, like I've said, Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba is just astonishing. You really sense that there is something great that Cynthia is on the brink of here, where she is really going to cement herself as that artist that everybody wants to work with. And the same can be said for Ariana Grande-Butera here, who, of course, we know she's had an extensive catalog of music that is just chart-topping. It is critically acclaimed and all of that. But here as Glinda, she does something completely different from what maybe we're used to seeing, where we're seeing her act as this character that is very nuanced. It is a whimsical, charming character. At the same time, she has an arc where she sort of starts off kind of like this mean girl, but you see her sort of become more of who she really is, letting herself express her feelings without really having to feel like she has to fit in or anything like that. On the opposite end of things, you have Elphaba, who is a character who is lonely, but doesn't really want people to see her as in that way, and tries to come off as somebody who doesn't need the world or anybody around her, but truly deep down, she is yearning for love and that attention. And I think that is something that is really portrayed perfectly by Cynthia Erivo in this performance that is just indescribable, honestly. And both of these characters together, they just go through such an amazing arc, and the juxtaposition between both of them and how they are, it just blends so well together, and you really see sort of these viewpoints of the world from these characters, and it's just so beautifully told. And I am just gushing over that aspect of the film. Now, there were some things in the movie that I just didn't really like that much. There's some scenes in particular where I think that the sun is a little bit too overexposed and the lighting isn't really right there, where I would have loved to see more of the contrast with the characters in the background, because what was going on in that moment, I think we needed a little bit more key light on those characters. But other than that, those are my minor things with with the film. It's just some of the scenes weren't lit well, in my opinion, and they just kind of drowned out what was happening because of that, where you just had this big glare. But honestly, that's the only thing, because some of the other scenes in here are just beautifully colored, like the pop off the screen. I had the opportunity to watch this at Arivo and RPX. The last movie I watched in RPX was actually Nope, so it's been a while since I had been in an RPX theater, but the music and everything just engulfs you so well. It is just a film that is meant to see on a big screen. You need to see this big picture. You need to hear these loud noises, these musical notes hitting so beautifully. The finale is truly a finale worth getting out of your seat from. Honestly, like, there is just a moment in here where I just wanted to get off of my seat and just enjoy and bask in all of its glory that we were seeing here. There's also a scene in particular with Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, like at the halfway point, that is one of the most emotional scenes I've seen in quite some time. And little dialogue was shared in that scene, but still the emotions that they're able to evoke through their facial expressions and just the way that they're acting with one another was just beautiful to see. No notes, honestly, for these amazing actresses. This is one of those movies that is just why films are made for, to really and truly bring you into this world, and at the same time a timely film that talks about the dangers of these cons that rich and powerful people play upon us in order to turn us against one another and make the poor and less fortunate be that enemy that sort of has them stay in power of sorts. And I'll get more into all of that in my spoiler-full video that I'm going to be doing on Friday, so stay tuned for that. We'll get into spoilers for Wicked and how it really is truly a film for today and the nature of our world. So more on that later on, but truly, go see Wicked. If you're a fan of the musical, see Wicked. If you've never heard of the musical, see Wicked. A fan of Ariana, a fan of Cynthia, see Wicked. Anybody watching this video, just go see Wicked. It truly is one of those films for the heart, for the soul, and you will love it. Deep down in my heart, I believe it. It is just beautiful, beautiful story. And that finale, I need to watch this movie again. I'm going to watch it this weekend. I don't care. I'm watching it again. It's about 2 hours and 45 minutes, but trust me, the musical numbers, the performances and everything, you won't even feel it. It is just beautifully told, amazingly, and well crafted. Wicked is that movie. But anyways, that's going to do it for me. Make sure you subscribe, follow us wherever you can. We do have some more reviews coming out this week on the Brew List, The Seed of the Sacred Fig, and some other films as well, and more spoiler talk on Wicked over the weekend. But let me know what you thought about Wicked once you watch it in the comments down below, and if you're excited or not. But as always, I'll see you next time. Follow us on our Instagram, Threads, or wherever you can, all linked down below. As always, stay safe, stay positive.
You're green.